Good morning and welcome to the Elevate Renatus team call. This is your host, Keely Austin. Today is Wealth Wednesday. We get to learn from Daine Clark. Daine Clark is someone who has taken this education and taken this opportunity and really made the most of it. And he continues to grow, continues to increase. And we're very fortunate to get to learn from him. He's incredibly inspiring and he's a fantastic presenter. Before Renatus, Daine was working two jobs. He was working for Apple and he was also working as a roofer. And it's hard to believe now, but he was actually really shy back when he was working at Apple and he was working in the back. And that just inspires me so much to know that he has gone from being shy and timid to where he is now. I think that's so great. So at the time, he was barely making ends meet, and he started looking for other income opportunities, and he found Renatus. He plugged into the Renatus system, listened to his mentors, and he applied what he was learning. He applied the velocity banking to pay down debt, and then he used that as leverage as a down payment for a duplex. He lived in one side and rented out the other. Fast forward to today, Daine has now raised over $10 million from investors to lend on various real estate transactions. And a secret to that is consistency and frequency. He has grown his team. He is recognized by our CEO, Bob Snyder, as a key leader. He is on the PIT, meaning he is a President's Advisory Council member in training. And we are very fortunate to get to learn from Daine this morning. Good morning, Daine.
Good morning. How are you doing, Keely?
Awesome. Thank you. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Doing great. Good morning, Renatus Nation, everybody. Hope you're all home and safe and well and fed, especially. But yeah, good morning. Wealth Wednesday. I've got some good stuff for us today. Good morning, everybody. So as we get started, if you're new to the call, if you're not new to the call, you know what to do. Go ahead and report the numbers. But if you are new to the call, I love interacting, especially, all throughout if we can, but especially in the beginning, I love interacting. And there's two things that I track in my business. One of them is how many people did I get in front of, essentially, if I got them to a meeting, if I got them to watch a video, if I got in front of them one-on-one. Prospecting, intensives, nationals, of course, nationals. Had a few guests at nationals this weekend. And so report how many, and then the second thing too is, I'm going to butcher the quote, but there's a quote out there that basically says where performance is measured, performance improves. And where performance is measured and reported, then the rate of performance increases drastically. And so I'm a huge proponent. I track, last year I could track how many one-on-ones I did down to literally down to the number of one-on-ones that I did last year, and was able to trace how much I got paid per one-on-one. So if I report my numbers here, we already got tons of people chatting in. I even report zeros, right? At the very beginning of the year, I've only had one so far in 2020, but I even report my zeros because of the whole honesty thing. If I'm honest with myself, I can be honest with people, and people will notice. People will notice that type of characteristic about you. If you're just honest with who you are, where you are in the process of your real estate investing, right? You don't want to, I remember in the beginning, I had people that were doing business with me and looking into becoming students with Renatus. And one of the people said to me, he said, and he didn't say this to my face at the time, but he basically said that he's like, Daine, I felt like you were faking it till you make it. And so when I was new, I was just trying to be somebody that I wasn't. And so be honest, like, for example, I got a whole bunch of people reporting zeros here. If you did nothing, then say you did nothing, and you be honest, and that'll carry forward to everything that you do. In fact, it's how I raised my first $1 million in doing real estate. I used the language that was basically in line with what I had already done. I told the guy, I said, hey, let's look at some real estate deals. And you know, I haven't done anything yet, but hey, if I could find a really good deal that looks like this one that I just showed you, and it's in front of you, if I could bring something like this, would you want to look at it with me? And, you know, I'm learning how to do this, I'm learning how to do that. And the guy goes, yeah, sure. And so just that honesty of where you are in the process, where you are in your success, right? Everybody has to start somewhere. Anyway, sorry, a little bit of a soapbox there, but yeah, report. So let's see, let me report my own here. And for me, the only thing I track now is the one-on-ones, because to me, now I'm like I'm more busy than I ever have been before. I also, you know, I guess technically we don't go on vacation right now because we're kind of against the law, but you know, we travel more than we ever have before. So for me, like I've tried to simplify, and so I say I know how well I'm doing based on the number of one-on-ones that I'll do in a given week. And so that's the only thing I track. And for some reason, my keyboard will not come up. Keyboard, where are you? Huh. Anyway, I'll just tell you guys. So I did 4 one-on-ones in the last 7 days. I did have some guests at nationals. But yeah, all right, let's see. I got somebody off of mute. Oh, I think they changed it. Okay, let's give some credit here. Sarah has 3. Awesome. Good morning, David and Gilda. Jacob had a goose egg. Esther Hahn had 2. Sandra had 1. David, let's see, David and Gilda. Oh, David and Gilda had 2. Anne had 2. Leslie had 5. Corey had 5. Great job, Corey. Levi had 2. Deborah, Sherry, Renee, Marisol are attracting people to them. Had some goose eggs, being honest. Keely had 2. Cheryl had 1. Brian had 3 orders entered: Extreme, AIT, Profits, and Essentials. Yeah, great job, brother. Good job, Brian. LaShawn had a goose egg. Let's see, some good jobs. Jeremy had 3. Matt had 1. Cheryl had 1. ICM, great job. Michael had 2. David had 1. Alvin had 3. And Chuck had a goose egg. Good job, guys. Great job. Amy had a goose egg. Or sorry, yeah, Amy had a goose egg. Cool. And I always say, notice what happens this week. When you're honest with yourself, notice what you do. If you had a 0, then it motivates you to work. If you had 4, 5, 6, you know, whatever, then you're like, man, I gotta do this again. And so it motivates you to work, right? Notice that reporting motivates you. When you are honest with somebody, it motivates you. All right, next. Oh, I got a bunch more. Chuck, Amy had 0. Francis had 0. Great job, guys. Way to be honest in everything that you do. And notice how that carries. When you're talking to people, then you say, hey, yeah, I haven't done the deal yet. And you make that normal, right? This was the coolest, like, aha for me. When I could come to terms with myself and be honest with myself and other people and say, yeah, I haven't closed the deal yet. I'm just getting started, right? And you almost make it sound like, why would they even ask you that? And oftentimes too, I should precursor this, whatever you want to call that. I should say that if somebody asks you, oh, well, how much have you done? Usually that's a sign that that you said something that made you sound like somebody you're probably not, right? But if they just ask it anyway, because it happens, I get it. Then you just say, and you be honest, and you're just like, you know, and you are so comfortable with honesty that they're just like, wow, okay. So if somebody says, well, what have you done? And maybe you haven't done anything yet, then you come back and you're like, oh, dude, I'm just getting started. I'm going through this. But oh my gosh, I just watched a real estate investor break down a deal that he put 0 money down and was able to cash flow or flip this property or whatever. And you say it like that. I mean, every time I've listened to a real estate investor break down a deal, I like jot it down as a story that I can share with other people, right? And I still do this. I still love sharing other people's stories because now that I've crossed, a couple of breakthroughs and whatever. I just put to work my $11.9 million. And so Keely, you can update that if you'd like, but $11.9 million in private capital to work. In other words, I've raised $11.9 million and put it to work as well. It's not just sitting there. It's out in real estate. But I'm trying to remember where I was going with this. I didn't start there. At all. And so now that I've broken, this is what I was saying. Now that I've broken through some development and growth phases, I still can't, it doesn't look good to just sit there and be like, oh yeah, I did this, I did this, right? It's still not impressive. Because then everybody starts believing oh man, how in the world could I ever be like Daine? No, you got to tell stories. I still have to tell stories of other people because they need to have that social proof of this person doing this and this person doing this and this person can relate to you and they did this, right? And yeah, this worked for me, and that's I try to keep it about that. This worked for me, and here's the deal that I did. And yeah, sure, we've done 80 of them or something like that, between 70 and 80 of them. But yeah, the stories of other people is awesome, absolutely awesome. Okay, let's see, where was? Oh, next thing, I want to be interacting with you guys. Let's mentor somebody, okay? And you know who you are. If you're new, if you've already been on my calls. I love to mentor somebody, have somebody come off of mute, ask a question, give us a little story or an experience where you're just like, dude, I need some help with this one. If you're new to the call, then after we report, I want you guys coming off of mute. Somebody, and you know who you are, just interrupt me. But somebody come off of mute.
Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Good morning, this is
Who do we have? Who do we have? Sherry. What's up, Sherry? How are you doing?
Much. Everything is great. Trying to stay safe and keep busy and sane. The question that I have is, I've been administering this meetup group for a while, and I took a page from Christian Sadler's training a few months back, and I changed the questions that they have to answer when they come into the group. So I've been able to capture some emails and phone numbers. With our new programs and our new systems, what would be a good way for me to engage them? One idea I have is to create, of course, an online webinar. I could do it myself, or I could plug them into one of the online exposures that we have around the community. Should I just create the event first, or should I reach out directly to the person one-on-one? What would you suggest, or what would you do with the information that I have?
Yeah, sorry, my phone broke up there for just a second, and so I caught most of it. But let me fill in the gaps of where I think you're going. So you got to meet up. You got to meet up, and you already have events in the meetup.
Yes, I did create events. No, I created events in the past when we were doing the live exposure. But now that we're basically online with everything, the meetup hasn't been getting a lot of RSVPs. So how can I re-engage that audience?
Okay. Yeah, so what I would do is, so the way that I understand Meetup, and I have one, I don't spend a ton of time in there, but I at least have a login and a group or whatever. But you should be able to know how many people are like a part of your group, if you will, that get notifications every time you host a meetup. And so it'll share you, oh, you got like 100 members, or you got, whatever. I would actually personally write up a little script and we'll talk about that in just a sec, but write up a little script that you can reach out to each person individually to do two things. Check on them. Hey, how are things going? I know, we're both a part of the real estate investing group. You can message them through Meetup. If you already have their contact information, then yeah, just message them directly, or call them, better yet. But either way, get a hold of them and say, hey, how are things doing? Just wanted to check in on everybody that's in my, real estate investing group here on Meetup. How you holding up? And are you seeing any opportunities like I have been in the real estate market? And is there anything I can do to help? And so that way you're giving them a personalized custom reach out where you're not just like to the masses, if you will, like, hey, everybody, we're doing an event. You reach out to them personally, and you'll probably get a lot more engagement, especially if you just treat it that way where you're just like, hey, just checking in on everybody. Because now more than ever, we have to kind of survey people. Some people are like losing their marbles and like scared that the end of the world is coming. And some people are like, you know what, there might be an opportunity here for us to make some serious cash. And so a little bit more weeding now than ever to find the people that are serious. But yeah, I do that. Personally message them. And so if we talk little bit of a script, I don't think we need to go into like word for word, but essentially, how are you holding up? Are you safe, healthy, and fed? And I've been noticing, and you could even say like me and you could say mentors, my colleagues, my associates, whatever, right? The people that I talk real estate investing with, we are noticing, have you been noticing some of the opportunities that this is creating for real estate investors like me and my mentors have, my associates have, whatever, fill in your honest who you are, and see if you can strike up a conversation. From there, I would either try to push them towards the online event, if you've got the event that's going on, or even try to start them down a video series. And in the morning, Nancy and Eric are going through Helios and showing us how to do all that stuff. So if you don't know how to start them down a funnel with Helios, then jump on there. But yeah, you could start them down a personalized campaign that they can go on their own speed, their own pace, essentially. So that's what I would do, is reach out to people individually. And that's even what I'm doing now. Like, yeah, I'm not doing the meetup, but like all the people that used to just like, you put like some kind of an advertisement in front of them, then it'd be like, yeah, I want to go to that. But now people are, kind of bunkered into their homes. And so they need people to like come into their homes, figuratively, obviously, come into their space and pull them out a little bit. And so now more than ever, the one-on-one personalized interaction is going to go a lot farther. So hope that helps. But yeah, that's what I would do. Does anybody else, I think I saw a couple of comments.
Thank you, that helped tremendously.
Does anybody else have an idea that they just would love to share, right? I don't want this to just be the Big Daine show, or what should we call it? The Great Daine show. But
can you hear me?
Let's see. Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so this is LaShawn in Chicago. And I don't know if anyone on here gets on to Bob Tierney's 12 noon calls, but yesterday someone came up with the idea about tenants that might possibly be threatened by the landlord to pay their rent if they've lost their job. And so flipping that around and approaching the landlords of tenants that are not paying and presenting this program or our education to them. So I just wanted to share that with you.
Yeah, even offering to buy the house. Yes.
If the landlord wants to keep it, maybe show them how they can maneuver their business since we have profits. But if not
Mhm.
that, then, yeah, buy the property or
Absolutely.
yeah, back to you.
Yeah, great idea. Thank you. Thank
You're
you. Thank
welcome.
you. All right. Excuse me. Okay, cool. I got some stuff that I wanted to share with you guys, and for some reason my internet's been a little bit groggy this morning. I think it's still waking up or something. So let's see if I can get enough internet to share my screen. And all right, let's go to the chalkboard. Oh, if you guys want to take a screenshot of this, I put together just kind of the workings. Like I'll build something out that's a little more pretty, but this was just kind of sketching a bunch of the different combo packages, if you will, like how you can mix and match some things. And I know that I missed a few, but some of them I'm like, people just wouldn't do that, right? Now, obviously, each of these can be purchased individually, but more often than not, I can't remember what the statistic was, but something like 50% of students own, yes, they're essentials. I should say like probably somewhere in the 90-some-odd% of students in Renatus own their essentials, and 50% of those own some form of AIT, whether it's the advanced or whether it's the full extreme, own their full $20,000 combo. And now we have our epics combo that adds in the profits there. But yeah, if you guys want to take a screenshot of this real fast, here is just a bunch of ideas and the prices and how that would look using billing of the different combos. And of course, I've got profits only and essentials only off, they're to the right. Yes. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and make a new page here. And today is Wednesday, April 8th, Wealth Wednesday. All right, cool. So the thing I wanted to talk about, and this is probably in relation to the things that I went through over the last 7 days, but I've been going through Rob Sperry's trainings, and my goodness, I've been missing out. Rob Sperry, I even bought his class last Nationals, and for whatever reason, every time he was doing his calls, I couldn't make it, and I didn't make time to go through the, and this is funny because I even paid for the courses, but I didn't have time to go through and go back, but I'm listening to the recordings now, and partially because I did just purchase my profits package, and Rob Sperry excuse me, has an advanced class in there that I've been excited to go through, because I feel like, and excuse me, I gotta clear my throat. All right, and I'm back. I didn't want you guys to hear that, so mute. But anyway, so I'm going through it now and super excited. And so one of the things that he talked about, and I've been doing this all wrong the whole time, who would have known, who would have thunk? But I've been revamping my Facebook, just my profile, because Rob says that there's credibility in just your profile, period, right? People will do business with people that they like, that they trust, that they can connect with, that they can relate with, right? Woody does a great job at learning and understanding people's drive, what drives them, and so you speak to them in that way. And so Rob takes that and says, hey, when people look you up, right, you want people to be like, yeah, what's, if people say, oh, what's the website? I just send them my freaking LinkedIn profile. And so here I am, because again, you don't want them to start Googling Renatus. Have them Google you, or have them, right? So been revamping my Facebook profile here. And I want to share with you guys a couple things that I've learned in doing this, okay? And so first of all, and I'm just going to give you guys a handful of tips and tricks here, okay? But first of all, the profile pic, right? Make sure your face is there. He says if you're married, then make sure that, it's okay that you've got your spouse in there. And I'm going to give myself some feedback too, and you guys feel free to give me feedback as well. But my first item of feedback that I noticed, and I need to change, I just got to find the picture, but I've got a very unique spelling of my name, where it's Daine, and more often than not, when people see that for the first time, they think Diane, right? Automatically, right? Every school teacher I ever had, every substitute teacher, every time I get called to go to the dentist, every time I get called in to go into my doctor appointment, I mean, you name it, right? Every time somebody reads that, they always call out Diane. And, it's just something I've been, had to laugh about my whole life. And it's been fun, especially when there's a substitute teacher and they're like, they're calling the roll or whatever. And they're like, Diane Clark. I'm like, here, really deep voice, whatever. Anyway, so the first item of feedback is somebody could confuse this and think that I am her, right? If you look at my profile picture here, that somebody could think, oh, this is Diane Clark. Because she's like the center of the photo here. And I mean, she's prettier than me, way prettier than me. But I think, and this is going to be funny, but I think I might have to take my wife off of this, or just figure out a way to make myself more of the focal point. But anyway, so profile picture, put your face on there. Guys, this is Facebook. And so if your face is not on there, put your face on there. If you want to do something that's not your face, then do it up here in this, I can't remember what they call this, the cover photo? Yeah, the cover photo. Put something in the cover photo that says something about you, right? So for myself, I love the outdoors. I love four-wheeling, 4x4ing. And so I've got my own little projection of, and you can see my family down there. We're sitting right here on the edge of this like 1,000-foot cliff. It was really, really pretty. But anyway, right, so profile. Next thing on the list is, and if you guys have questions, come off of mute, that's fine, because I can't manage comments at the same time as I'm sharing my screen like this. But that little tell it bio thing, right? It's a limited characters. I noticed you can only do like literally this little thing that I have here, like maxed it out. But use emojis, right? He talked about using emojis in your Facebook stuff. And so to me, the most important thing to me is my family. And then I wanted to build a little bit of credibility of who I am. And so I say real estate entrepreneur. Life to me is an adventure. In fact, I remember originally I put life is an adventure, and I had all this stuff, and it was too many characters. So I had to figure out a way to take stuff out. So I had to go with life is adventure, or I had to give up emojis, and I felt like, you know what, I want the emojis. Life is adventure, and then I put national presenter. And so if you're somebody who does present, then figure out a way to put that in there somewhere. So I might actually change my profile pic to myself being on stage, doing a presentation. And so anyway, next thing is I learned that there are, what do they call these? The little tags, interests or something like that. Go through and just pick all the things that you share in interest, right? I believe, and again, Rob Sperry said that they are changing the algorithms of Facebook like every day. And so you can never, even if you had a list of all the algorithms and how it works, it would be different tomorrow. But I believe that one of the things that Facebook does to help match you to people is look at your interests and say, hey, if you have these interests, so does this person. Hey, you guys should be friends, right? And this is a great way to be making connections with people on Facebook, especially now more than ever. And this is one of the reasons why I've been motivated, because I've usually been a huge proponent of just connecting with people live. But now we can't really do that, so I have to be online, and so it's been good for me to shift like this, and say, all right, where am I missing, right? Where's the gaps? And so put all those things in there, put all the different things that you enjoy, that you like, and people are going to see it, and make it. I think there's a way that you can say make it visible to the world, or something like that. Let's see. I can't remember. Anyway, there should be a way to edit that. But yeah, make it visible to the world. And then obviously you got all your photos. Now, one thing again, feedback, he said, make sure that your face is in all of these things, right? And so I need to get rid of that one with the fire. Yeah, have that funny one of me presenting, got the family, got the adventure, whatever, right? And just make sure that your face needs to be in it, right? This is Facebook. And so, let's see, what were some other things? Oh, the about, right? Notice that I only and I've had a ton of different jobs, but notice that the only thing that I care for other people to see about me in my work history is that I was a farm boy and that I became a real estate investor, right? That I am CEO. I'm not sure why it doesn't say CEO up there, but I'll have to look at that. But I am the CEO of DNP. And here's a couple of things that we've done. Now, this one wasn't in Rob Sperry's training, but this one I got from another guy he's really successful and teaches and coaches. But bullet points, do bullet points. And so when I was new, if you can see all this, you can see all the bullet points that I've got here. And so in recent years, I've put, and I can already update this, $11.6 million in capital to work, acquired a bunch of real estate so that real estate that I acquired at 11.6 million is valued at 19 million in the 2020 market conditions, so far at least. We'll see if that changes. And I specialize in structuring deals to hedge again. All right, so these are just things that I took right out of the education of things that I've learned, right? And some accomplishments, if you will. And so if I was new, let's say I didn't have, if I were to take this one off of the $11 million and the $19 million, right? I still have some pretty good things here, right? I specialize in this. Let's see, I've learned how to do stuff debt-free. Let's see, I'm helping other people get their systems up and running, right? So if you can put numbers any way you can. Right? And say, let's say you're just brand new and you're going through real estate education. Do not put Renatus on there. In fact, that's one of the things that he harps on. He says, do not put the name Renatus anywhere inside of your Facebook profile. And it was kind of funny because Bob was there in the training or during the training. And he's like, guys, I know Bob is going, if Bob wants to jump off of mute or whatever, come up on stage and say otherwise, then fine. But Bob hired me to teach you guys what is going to be the most productive way to sell Renatus, to get people to say, yes, I need Renatus, right? You do not want people looking at your Facebook profile and then going and Googling Renatus, right? You want them to receive the information through a dedicated avenue of some kind of a presentation or a campaign or some, a video series, okay? So don't put Renatus. Don't even put that you studied at Renatus, right? If you go to college or school, don't even put that you studied there. Put in these bullet points or whatever, and if you put college, then just put real estate investing or whatever, and put down the different classes that you're watching, right? So when I was new, that's what I did. Every time I finished a class, I would add it to my LinkedIn profile, right? I wasn't as active on Facebook. I would add it to my LinkedIn profile and say, I am, I didn't want to say certified because Renatus doesn't get certified, but I'm specializing in, I just finished my short sale class, specialize in the short sale process, finish my velocity banking class, specialize in creative banking strategies to help drive cash flow for personal and business purposes. If I just finished my deal of the decade class, specialize in finding off-market real estate deals, and watch my creative financing, specialize in creative financing, private, right? So all that stuff, put those bullet points of classes that you have finished that really stuck out to you the most, and bullet it, right? Bullet point that, because it's going to build credibility for yourself, right? People, and if you can quantify every single time if you can, because that it's going to be more like people will have a basis, right? If you can quantify. So I'd even say, like, you know, I've taken this many courses in real estate investing, right? I've interviewed this many people. I would consider every time I've taken a class from a instructor, I would say that I interviewed them, right? Because I mean, it was like a 6-hour interview, right? And he was the one that kind of did all the question answering, and really, like, as he was answering or as he was talking, I was creating questions, right? But I would say, yeah, conducted this many interviews of real estate millionaires over, you know, in recent years. Let's see, been to a bunch of events. So for me, like I say, I spoke at 120 events. Let's see, in basically last year in 2019, and I'm just noticing that I didn't put that I didn't specify that. I should, and maybe I should say that I've spoken how many times total in the last year? It would be like 300 some odd. Let's see, yeah, probably somewhere in that range. Anyway, but yeah, spoke at events. I've got 300 people on my team. Total revenue for 2019 broke $1 million, right? So this one was kind of like, holy crap, I did this. Broke $1 million in 2019 for the very first time. And here was the cool thing to me, right? This is what I want you guys to do too. In your Facebook, right? And in the one that is about your business, right? And don't, again, no Renatus in there, but this is you, right? This is building the credibility of you. And to get to Renatus, they have to go through you, right? And so things that I would love to experience, again, quantifying, I would love to help 1,000 real estate investing transactions come to fruition. Between myself and people that I'm working with closest, right? I actually sold a combo off of that very goal, or sharing that very goal with somebody. In fact, you guys probably heard the story. If you get on my calls, this was back in like November of last year. I was at a networking event entirely unrelated to Renatus, and I shared this goal with a gentleman that we were just, you know, met at the event, talking small talk. What do you do? Oh, that's so cool. What do you do? Oh, you know, and you know, I asked him, so what are your, you know, because this was like a personal development thing. So yeah, so what's your goal? And he shares his goal, and I share mine. Yeah, I want to help 1,000 people get in, you know, and do a real estate deal. And he's like, holy crap, I've always wanted to get into real estate. In fact, my wife and I have been talking. It's on our vision board to get into real estate, you know, this year. Like, this is so crazy that we met here, right? And the guy whipped out his credit card and paid me $20,000 5 days later, just because I shared this goal with him, right? If you want to go back and hear the full story, then I can't, you know, I could probably point you to it, but somewhere in November, December. But yeah, I would love, so let's see, I want to say that I've lasted the test of a market shift. Ooh, I might get an opportunity to do this one. I want to say that I've lasted the test of a market shift in my real estate business, and I'm constantly looking to build both reserves and structured deals to have great backup plans if things outside of anyone's control may happen. And so, I mean, I took this right out of the classes, right? They all talk about when you get into a real estate deal, you better think plan B, C, D, E, F, all the way to Z, because plan A doesn't always happen. Yeah, maybe through 2012 to 2019, everybody's plan A, like, people made money on accident in the last, you know, 5 years, if you will, in real estate. If you bought a house 5 years ago and sold it last month or 2 months ago, then you literally made money on accident, because the market appreciated naturally. And then, yeah, I get there's other areas that markets don't appreciate or depreciate, you know, as much. But yeah, if somebody says that they bought a house that many years ago and sold it this year and made all this money, chances are they were just in an area that it naturally appreciated. And so let's see, let's see, what's some other thing? This one for me was kind of fun. I want to get invited as a guest speaker for events or businesses to share ideas on how to make little shifts in how people look at their real estate. So in other words, like people that are I already say that, personal or investment real estate, how they can position themselves to pay down their debt in a fraction of the time, converting amortized debt. Let's see, how buying one property a year over time, the right way, can generate substantial income and save them thousands of dollars in taxes every year. So I tried to hit all 4 pillars, right? Taxes, banking, business, real estate. And I would love to see my small little company drive to $5 million in revenue in 1 year, right? So again, just put all these bullet points, as people, you want people to be checking you out where you're just like, again, even if you're new, you want to inspire them with your goals, right? I can't remember who said this in nationals this weekend, but you are not defined by your past. You are defined by your desires. You're defined by your desires. I think that was the Iron Cowboy that said that. But anyway, so the only 2 things I have on here in my work history are my current business and that I was a farm boy back in the day, long time ago. And then everything else here, I got rid of all my education. I got rid of my college. I did put that I went to Morgan High. That was it. But yeah, I got rid of all that stuff. And personally, like I didn't really care, home city, hometown, whatever. I leave that there. And I hid all this other stuff. Let's see. I think there's a way. Let's see. Where do they call it? Like all your likes and stuff like that. Like I hid all of my likes. I hid all of my, what do they say? Like videos, like all the movies that you've liked. I hid everything, right? The only thing I want people to see on my profile are a couple of things, right? Pictures of faces, my faces or family's faces, my likes, and my business, right? I don't want them to see all of this other stuff and things and right. I want them to go right to that I love real estate investing and have some credibility through either going through classes or by actual accomplishments. Okay.
Daine, I've
Or
got a quick
desire.
question.
Go ahead.
Someone typed in the chat, and I actually second to the question as well. Donald asks, should you have more than one Facebook profile? I have a business and a personal. My business gets no action at all because I don't really use it. So I'm kind of wondering if I should clean that up and just use my personal.
Rob Sperry talks about this. In fact, I just learned this yesterday. Rob Sperry talks about this. He said, hold off on the business page until you're ready. And the way he says, I know you're ready, is if you have a pretty big following in your personal, or you're ready to put together some automation in tools. Because right now, a lot of automation tools, like there's a company called ManyChat that you can set up like automated campaigns and follow up and reminders and basically Facebook message stuff. And so the only thing, I'm just reading some of these comments as I'm talking, but yeah, the only thing that he says is your personal profile cannot connect to all these automated tools. And so the only reason that you should have a business page is, one, you're ready because you have X amount of followers. I can't remember what the number was, but substantial, right? He said, if you have 5,000 friends, and you're ready to get more, then he said there's a way that you can automatically shift all of your friends over to your Facebook page and have an automatic 5,000 likes on your Facebook page, your business page, if you will. But for now, he said, if you're just starting out, I would just keep it to personal, right? Just keep it to that personal audience for now. And so those are the 2 reasons. I hope I was clear on those. One,
yeah, very helpful.
if you got tons of followers. 2, if you're ready to use automation tools. then
Cool.
yeah,
And I'm
for
actually
sure.
going through that class right now. I just haven't gotten to that point yet. So
Okay, cool. Yeah,
thank you.
it's so good. I'm not quite done yet. My goal is to I've been binge watching it in between appointments. Just I try to turn it on and finish a section here or there. My goal is to try to finish it today if I can. But yeah, it is so good. If you guys don't know which class I'm talking about, let me show you. So if I go to
can I ask you a question about
education.
Rob Sperry?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so there was a Rob Sperry class in the system of your ex-combo anyway, and now we have the new one in Profit. So did you watch the other one even though you signed up for his coaching?
Yes. Yep. I'm going through the one that was already there, because the one that's in Profits course is not yet available unless that has changed sometime today. But yesterday it was not available yet.
Okay, so you're
In
talking
Profits,
about going
'cause-
through the one that's already in the system. Great. That's what I needed to know.
exactly. Yep.
Thank you.
Perfect. So yeah, to show you guys which one I'm talking about, if I go to, and it looks like my internet is still being kind of sluggy. Come on, do me a solid here. But yeah, it would be included in only if you own the Extreme Plus combo, or in other words, your Extreme Plus, the 18,000 product basically. And I think it was like, that was like $3,600 down if you had used UGA, or 4,000 if you did a full $20,000 combo. But it's this class right here. I think it's in, so if you go to, instructors and Rob Sperry, this one right here, social media success. I've been listening to it. Oh, I should show you guys how I get it on my phone, right? I've been listening to it on my phone and some of it online because he's got visuals. And so every time he goes into the visuals, I'm like, oh man, I got to catch that. So most of it I've just been listening to in my app on the phone. And as he's getting more visuals, I'm going to hear. But yeah, that's what it's called. Social media success. Awesome class. And let's see, let me come back.
Hey, Daine, real
New
quick.
one is even available. Yeah, what's up, brother?
Hey, the Nationals download is expired in a few days. Is there any way we can download that to listen to it later, or is it just going to be gone? We can't listen to it no more.
I haven't been told. How long that's going to stay live, and so I would get in there and watch it.
I recommend everybody listen to that right now while it's available.
Yeah, get in there.
The classes will be there later, but I just listened to Michael Huggins again last night, and it was just phenomenal training. And then listen to the Ironman. I'm about ready to record it onto an MP3 player just by hitting record and sitting next to the computer. But is there any way I could download that, so like a class? Hey, download the class on your MP3 player.
Yeah, maybe I'll do that. I'll ask and see if it's something that we are going to be able to do. But yeah, great question.
Okay. A lot of people watching a class is great, but then in a couple of days they lose the Nationals and they didn't get to rewatch it. So I thought maybe we should focus on the National. I'm redoing my wife's bathroom right now, listening to Nationals while I'm painting.
Okay. Nice. Yeah, dude, listen to it however you can. But cool.
Yep.
Any last questions? Let me check comments to make sure.
Hey, Dan. So this,
yeah, what's up, brother?
Kai. I'll actually say what's up because I've never talked to you. In addition to this, I am looking at going on and getting this foundations course. I'm trying to get my fiance to understand why this is so vital for us to actually have. So I want you to give me some words, and I can actually regurgitate that to her and let her know, like, look, this is really, really, really foundation. Like, even when I go through it and show her the classes and what is covered, she kind of feels like I'm trying to sell her. In a sense, I am. But so yeah.
Honestly, brother, like you gotta figure out. And in fact, here's a quote that is going to help you. Most, and I'll call her your spouse, most spouses will not support the other spouse's goal unless there's a reason, like basically unless they can see the benefit for themselves of you achieving that goal, right? So let me say that again. Most spouses right? If you ever have that moment where a spouse doesn't support a goal, right? And it's not a character trait. It's just that specific goal, right? Because I know I choose to believe that my wife and I have a very good marriage. And there are some goals that I have set that she hasn't been super excited about, right? But the reason, and there's a guy that teaches on this, the reason that a spouse will not support a goal is because they don't understand or they don't see the benefit for themselves in that goal. And so I would believe, instead of trying to show her, like, oh yeah, look at this, like ask her, you know, what does she want? What does she want out of life? What does she want out of your marriage? What does she want out of, life, money, finances, education, traveling, right? All those things. What does she want? And then when she says what she wants, then you're going to start understanding what drives her a little bit more. And then you can start telling stories, right? So based on what she wants, I guarantee there's a story in some student that wanted the same thing. They used Renatus's tools and systems and community and people and all the stuff, and they got exactly what they wanted. And so for her, it might, I would imagine that she just doesn't see the benefit for her of you doing this, right? And if the underlying goal is for you to have her buy her own, if she's your fiance, my first question would be, why would you want her to buy it too? If you guys are getting married, right? I didn't sell my wife a combo, right? Just disclosing that. I did not sell Paige a combo. I bought the combo for our family. But yeah, so if your underlying goal is to get her to buy educational services from Renatus, this would still work too. Figure out either the pain or the pleasure, right? What does she want? By asking questions, put all the focus on her, not any of this. Focus on her and how this will help her get what she wants.
Gotcha.
And you'll go a lot farther, right?
Yeah,
even if it's just you sharing your goals, right? When I present a goal to my wife, hey babe, I want to make $1 million, whatever. I back it up, or I precede it with how it's going to benefit her. Because my wife is one of those people that is not super money motivated. And if I tell her I want to go make $1 million, then she's going to be like, cool, whatever. Like, she doesn't see how I'm going to use that to spend more time with her and all this kind of stuff, right? So again, it's kind of like sales 101. Focus on the benefit to them.
Appreciate
and what she wants. So yeah.
All right.
All right, let's see. Thank you, Sue. Let me just check comments, make sure. This is Daine's strong suit, talking to wives. So true. Let's see, YouTube, commerce matches. I'm actually doing better since I stopped drinking coffee. You guys are awesome. Your internet needs coffee. If I missed one of your comments, then just let me know. Let's see. Eric's business information class. Yes, I was in Eric's automation class. That was amazing. Absolutely amazing. Cool. I think I got everybody. All right, guys. Have a wonderful Wealth Wednesday, and I'll see you next week. Change up your Facebooks. Make them look good. I want to see your faces. All right, guys.